Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, my name is Ernest and this is my older brother Ralph, and we present to you ER Sports.
Okay.
This is the very first episode, guys. We really want your we really want your feedback, your opinion. As some of you know, I did this last year by myself. I hosted my own page. I talked about our favorite team, the Miami Heat. I was talking about other things, but then life got in the way. I had a baby.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Very
Uncle
first,
Ralph, by the way.
Uncle Ralph. And I wanted to do this again, now that I have a little bit more time in my hands, but I didn't want to do it alone. My big brother, back in '94, turning on the TV, we're watching the Orlando Magic against the Houston Rockets in the finals, and I was hooked. Ever since then, we've been watching basketball together, big Heat fans. We always talk about this stuff, and I told him we got to do this together. So finally, I got him doing this with me, and we present to you our very first episode. So big bro, Ralph, introduce yourself, let the world know who you are.
So obviously my name is Ralph. Alright. So thank you for having me over here, and I'm really happy to be here with you guys. So we've been talking about this for a bit. I finally got my brother to convince me on doing this. So what we want to do is this: we're big NBA fans, like my brother said, and we want to go ahead and try to do something a little bit different that's normally done on YouTube.
Yep.
Me and my brother, we tend to see a lot of videos online. A lot of them are just really stale, really pale, really boring. You know, so we want to try to make this a little fun. You know, obviously.
No offense.
Yeah, nothing taken. We're not name dropping.
No.
Yeah, we'll leave that for another show. So, but regardless, guys, what we do is we're big on NBA rumors, NBA trades, free agency, and things like that. And I always find myself trying to look on YouTube, find different comments and videos. I really don't get anything I really like. I mean, of course, FS1, ESPN, they do a great job, but it's FS1, ESPN.
Exactly.
So we want to personalize this a little bit, guys. Me and my brother want to go innovative about this, and we want to include you guys too. So for starters, ER Sports, we appreciate it. Of course, like everybody said, to hit that like button, guys. We really appreciate it. You know, it's gonna go really help us out with this channel and to do more of this for you guys. And in addition, definitely hit that subscribe button to ER Sports, and definitely hit the comment as well.
Write them out. We want to hear from you.
Yeah, so that way, guys, we can go ahead and tailor it to you, and we can talk about anything you want to talk about. But we're gonna go right to the chase. Our focus, even though we're in the NBA playoffs right now, is down to the final 4 teams. I don't know how many teams will be left by the time you watch this video, but as of today, there's 4 teams left. And tomorrow's the NBA draft lottery.
Exactly.
So that's going to actually begin now, our very first video over here in terms of the NBA offseason. So we're going to start tonight. We're going to discuss the NBA draft lottery.
Yep.
And for those of you who might be a little familiar or not familiar at all with the draft lottery, we're going to go ahead and explain it to you.
Yeah, and the draft lottery, guys, this year for 2019, I think it's the most intriguing. Things are very different. Before, everybody knows, the worst team had the best chance. You had 25%. If you were the second worst team, you had a 19% chance, and it would go so on, so on, and so on. Now, things are worked a little bit different. The first 3 worst teams, they have a 14% chance, and the worst 3 teams right now that have the best odds is the New York Knicks, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
But it works a little bit differently after that, brother. I know the odds are a little bit different, so I want you to take a moment, explain to everybody exactly how the draft lottery process works. What is the chance that every team gets, and how is it different than before?
So bottom line, guys, most teams now in the lottery have a better chance of getting the top overall pick than they had before.
Exactly.
Before it was more clear cut. You were the worst team, you had the best chance. You were the second worst team, you had the second worst chance.
Exactly.
Now, this year has changed a little bit differently. My brother kind of mentioned the 3 worst teams in the NBA this year, they have equal odds of the 14%. However, as you start to break it down, the odds actually still stay really close, because the 4th worst team has a 12% chance. The 5th has a 10% chance. The 6th has a 7 to 8% chance. So
yeah,
it's really broad. Like, by the time the NBA draft lottery begins tomorrow, it's really going to be one of the most intriguing NBA draft lotteries we could ever remember, because it's really unpredictable.
I mean, there's even a chance that a team like the New York Knicks could probably be picking like 6 or 7.
Yeah, they could go, well, according to the numbers, I believe anybody in the top 3, the furthest they could drop down possibly could be the 6th pick.
The 6th pick.
Yeah,
exactly.
it will be the 6th pick.
But look at that. I mean, like, you're tanking all year. You're striving to lose every single game. And even with all that, you go down to the 5th or 6th pick, then what was it for?
That's the whole point what the NBA is trying to do now, to avoid tanking. Because the whole word of tanking and everything, it was just it was giving the NBA a bad image.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially to its fans. Imagine, like, you and me, my brother, we're middle class people, man. We work hard for our money. So if we go to a Miami Heat game, you know, we want to get the best product that we can. We might not have the best talent in the world, but we do want to have a team out there that plays their hardest and they're out there to win. So I'm on board with it. I mean, obviously the teams with the 3 worst odds, they're not in for it because it hurt their odds.
Exactly.
But I feel like it evened out the playing field a lot more, and it allows teams to stay competitive.
Gotcha.
I mean, if you really think about it this year, before the number 1 to the number 9, number 10 overall pick, it was astronomical. The odds that the number 9 or 10 could jump into that number 1.
Yeah.
While right now, the odds are really not that bad.
And that's really good. It's going to make it a lot more interesting. But everybody knows the crown jewel, the most prized possession for the 2019 NBA draft is Zion Williamson. I don't care what anybody says. He is projected to go first.
Yeah.
Now, we have the Knicks, we have the Cavs, and we have the Phoenix Suns. Then after that, you have the Bulls, followed by the Hawks, followed by the Wizards. These are the 6 teams, realistically, I feel, that would get the number 1%. Because after that, you have the Pelicans and the Grizzlies and the Mavs at a 6% chance. So those odds are very unlikely. So my question to you, bro, between the 6 teams and every other team, whatever, where do you think Zion fits the best?
Anywhere. He's a transitional talent. He's the next big thing to come out right now, and there's really no limit. Sky's the limit to this kid's talent, you know.
Okay.
And the fact that he's only 18 years of age, I'm sorry, he's already 6'7", 6'8", and weighs approximately 285 pounds. With his athleticism, his ability to play defense and to rise up and above, he'll jump out gyms as well. We've never seen a talent like him like that before. And bottom line, Ernie, he could fit anywhere.
Yeah.
I can tell you where my favorite fit is, but we're gonna go ahead and start from the top.
Okay.
So I guess we're gonna talk about the New York Knicks, the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Which is the New York Knicks is the team that needs it. If there's any team that needs something like this, it's the New York Knicks. Because for God's sake, that team has been an embarrassment for so many years. The team that is one of the most marketable, that plays in Madison Square Garden, has been a complete joke. I don't care what anyone says. So a guy like Zion Williamson in that team would not only be great for the Knicks, would be great for the NBA. It'd be great for business. I believe the NBA wants to see the Knicks in the playoffs again. They want to see the Knicks contend. And of course, I mean, if we're talking about the whole rig situation, you know, that whole situation in 1985 with the Knicks, but I mean, then you have Cleveland. Cleveland loses LeBron, and then they have a chance to get Zion Williamson. Yeah. Like, that would be another incredible fit. But you said something earlier, bro, that I don't agree with. You said Zion Williamson would fit perfect anywhere. I mean, part of that is true, but I mean, I don't think he'd fit with the Phoenix Suns, man. I don't see him being a fit there. I think a guy like Ja Morant is a perfect fit with the Phoenix Suns. He plays backcourt with Devin Booker, and then you got DeAndre Ayton playing down low. DeAndre Ayton with Zion Williamson, I don't see that working. I mean, maybe you got another opinion, dude, but I don't think Phoenix is a likely team for that guy.
My opinion is, guys, he fits anywhere. So I see, my brother, where you're coming from right now in terms of Zion Williamson. Who will be the best fit? I agree with you, is Ja Morant. That team needs a point guard. They are craving a point guard. You have an all-star, superstar, it could be in the making, in Devin Booker, who is lights out, three-point shooting. He's one of the best offensive players in the game. I feel DeAndre is also another offensive player who's on the coming. He just finished his rookie year, a strong rookie year. Luka Doncic is probably going to win Rookie of the Year. But in other years past, I believe DeAndre Ayton will be a shoo-in for Rookie of the Year. You got Josh Jackson. You also got T.J. Warren as well. That team needs a point guard. So although, yes, I do believe Zion Williamson is the best player in the draft, one thing I will agree with you, Ja Morant would be the best fit on that team. But like I said, now you have the first overall pick. You play the board. You know Zion is the best guy. If I'm Phoenix, I'm still taking Zion. All right? Because we could talk about fit. Because if there was a fit, guys, I don't want to go off topic. NBA draft 2003. I remember a particular team, the Miami Heat, was in need of a center. And Pat Riley wanted a center. And he talked about the best fit would be on his team would be young center from, I believe, Minnesota, Chris Kaman.
Yeah.
I believe he probably played in Minnesota. If I'm misquoting, guys, all you who are more savvy than me, I apologize. But it was Chris Kaman. And the trainer specifically told Pat Riley, look, if you want fit, you take Kaman. You want the next thing, go with a guy named Dwayne Wade out of Marquette. Pat Riley, I need a center. I know you want a center, but you told me who's going to have the ability to be the best thing moving forward. You take Dwayne Wade. So not that Ja Morant can't be that type of player, but at the same time, Zion Williamson is that transitional talent, Ernie. You do not pass up on somebody like him. And like same thing with Cleveland right now. I think it's a shoo-in. You know who you're gonna take.
Yeah.
Cleveland, I think at this point, you could call them spoiled. I mean, they went from taking LeBron first overall. Then after LeBron left, they got Kyrie Irving with the first overall pick. They had the first overall pick 2 times after that. Anthony Bennett, Andrew Wiggins, who came in the trade with Kevin Love. But it is what it is, my man. You know, Cleveland doesn't know anything to anybody. You know, they have their first championship, and they did what they had to do to put themselves in this position. And if they get him, I'm happy for them. I'm happy for them.
And even after that, man, I mean, you go with the teams below. I mean, he fit perfectly in the Bulls.
Yeah.
I mean, you fit him into the Bulls, automatically the Bulls have a chance to be in playoff team in the Eastern Conference. I mean, Zion Williamson is that guy where I believe he needs to be the number one. He needs to be the guy. Another team that we were talking about off camera that he would actually be an even better fit was the Atlanta Hawks.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you were saying something about Trae Young that really caught my eye because you called him the next Steph Curry, and then
so let me pause you right there.
Yeah.
I love the fit. I love the fit. So I was hoping we would save the talk, you know what I mean, as we go ahead. We did this video, but you know what? Excellent. We're going to go right into it. I love the fit. I think there cannot be a better fit for Zion Williamson coming into the NBA, going to the Atlanta Hawks. You're avoiding that huge media that is the New York Knicks and
Very
potentially
true.
maybe even the Los Angeles Lakers, anybody like that. But at the same time, you're not going into a small market. Atlanta is not Cleveland. Atlanta is not Milwaukee. They're not one of these Utah. They're not these small markets. They're still a big enough market where he can be marketable, but at the same time, he doesn't have that type of media attention that these big cities have. So I think he could own the city of Atlanta. They'll give him the key. That's the type of player he is. And then he's going into a situation, you already have Trae Young, which you just said. My take is this: you're going into a team that could have the next Steph Curry, and yet you could be the next LeBron. Atlanta finally, after how many years, how many times attempting. Remember, guys, it was just a couple of years ago. The Atlanta Hawks, other people forget, they were a 64-win team.
Yeah.
They had 4 All-Stars. Al Horford, Paul Millsap, Jeff Teague, Kyle Korver, Damari Carroll, Budenholzer. That was a really, really good team. And when they got swept by Cleveland, I think Atlanta already knew at that point, you know what? This is the most that we're going to accomplish with this team.
Yeah.
We could stick with this team and be a 50-win-plus team for the next 4 or 5 years and be stuck in mediocrity. No. Atlanta did what Miami would have done. They went ahead, they counted their losses, traded them away, let players walk, build that youth, bring in young talent in there, and now they put themselves now in a position that if they could potentially get a Zion and you match it with a Trae Young, I believe Atlanta's set for the next 5-7 years, and they will be the next up-and-coming team in basketball. It's my opinion.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
Okay.
What other team do you like in terms of the lottery?
Honestly, man, I think a beautiful fit for Zion would be the Wizards. The Wizards would be a fantastic fit. I understand there's a lot of headaches there. There's a lot of locker room drama. The Wizards have a 9% chance.
Okay.
9% chance of getting
It's
the first
realistic.
pick.
They could
It's
get it.
realistic.
Yeah.
Now, let's say if the Wizards get it. John Wall got hurt, but he comes back healthy in the season. You get Bradley Beal. That is a dynamic duo in scoring. And then you have Zion Williamson in the paint, getting those rebounds, bagging in and scoring. You get a top three system like that. All 3 guys could possibly average over 20 points. They will lead that team at least into the Eastern Conference semifinals in the East, within the East.
Yeah.
So I think a beautiful fit would be the Wizards. But if you're Zion and you go into a New York Knicks market where you can go in there and average over 20 a game, 10 rebounds, be the face, live in the Mecca, I mean, why the hell not? But within every team, I feel that the team he'd make the most immediate impact with the most immediate impact where they win would be the Washington Wizards. That's my personal opinion. I mean, you were going through team by team, but let me ask you, because I feel it's the Wizards. But between the Knicks, the Cavs, the Suns, the Bulls, the Hawks, and the Wizards, the 6 teams with the highest chance of getting the first pick, where do you think he fits the best?
Well, bottom line, so let's talk about right quick with the Washington Wizards in terms of John Wall. Unfortunately, he had that accident in the shower in his house, so he actually ruptured his Achilles. So it's actually possible, guys, that John Wall might not play this whole year. Okay, it is quite possible. I'm not going to go ahead and debate the fit. You still have Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal's still big time. And you put Zion Williamson over there, it could be a positive instead of a negative.
It could be.
Because now what will happen is throughout this whole year, you'll have Bradley Beal, you have Zion Williamson, they can learn to play together. And then after the season, when John Wall comes back 100%, it'll be more John Wall acclimating himself to them.
Exactly.
So I think John Wall could, even though he's gotten paid, he got that supermax, so he's being paid like the best player.
He's being paid. So I mean, even if he misses next season, it's just like you said, Zion and Bradley Beal together would be phenomenal.
Yes, but I think it will probably be more of a humbling experience with John Wall sitting down the whole year, seeing Bradley Beal and Zion Williamson having the type of success that he can have. So I think when you're a type of individual like John Wall, you're sitting at home like, wow, what could this team have been if I was there? So I think it's a blessing in disguise that he did tear his Achilles. It's really unfortunate, John Wall. We're pulling for you. I'm a fan of yours personally. I really think you're a great player. And I really think, like I said, it'll be a blessing in disguise. And if that pairing does happen, and it's Bradley Beal, Zion Williamson, I believe Wall will come in as more like, okay, you know what? You guys are already this. Let me see what I can do to put you guys over the top.
Makes sense.
So unfortunately, it is what it is for this year. So we'll have to figure out how it'll play out, assuming it does happen. Another very interesting team, I think the most interesting team in the entire lottery. Everybody talks about the New York Knicks, everybody talks about the Los Angeles Lakers, and so on and so forth. Even I mentioned the Hawks. My personal favorite would be the Hawks. I think the most interesting team in the lottery is the New Orleans Pelicans.
Okay.
And the reason New Orleans Pelicans, you know the situation you have going on with Anthony Davis. You got David Griffin in there. David Griffin, I respect him. I think he's one of the better GMs in basketball. I was bedazzled when Cleveland let him go as their GM, and I thought he was going to become the next Lakers GM. So that's why I think New Orleans is the main reason is because Anthony Davis, what's going on with him? Is he going to want to stay? Does he still want to go? And then when you get the first overall pick, David Griffin's really in an interesting spot over here because a lot of the talk out there was, okay, whoever gets the first pick is going to trade for Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
The Lakers, the New York Knicks, and some of these other teams that could be involved in the talks, right? But now if New Orleans gets the first overall pick, really David Griffin, he has a lot of options at his disposal because it could work two ways. Okay, now I got the first overall pick. We're going to draft Zion Williamson. In some ways, now it makes it easier to trade Anthony Davis.
Exactly.
Now, instead of trading Anthony Davis for the first pick, now you got that in your back pocket. Now you can explore a trade of Anthony Davis and get multiple draft picks, multiple young pieces to put around Zion Williamson. Or you could look at it on the flip side. Okay, maybe New Orleans Pelicans are able to convince Anthony Davis this is a place to stay. He loves the David Griffin, the approach he's taking. He loves the upper end management, the way they're running, the construction of it now, and he decides to stay. Now, not only you have Anthony Davis, you have Drew Holiday, you have the first overall pick.
Exactly.
You can pair Zion Williamson with Anthony Davis, or you could possibly trade the first overall pick and bring in another potential All-Star to pull outside Anthony Davis. So I really think New Orleans Pelicans is, even though my favorite fit is Atlanta, I think the most interesting team could be the Pelicans. Everybody's going to say New York Knicks. Guys, so get one thing straight. All right? New York, regardless of what happens in the draft, it's not going to have nothing to do with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
They already have their mindset, guys, okay? Of course, if they get the first overall pick, you can put that sugar on top, the sprinkles on top, whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, it's irrelevant. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, they're planning on going to New York. They're going to New York regardless. Either they get the first pick or they fall all the way to number 6. So forget about that aspect. That's why I don't even mention New York. But I think the Pelicans are the most intriguing story tomorrow.
So my hot pick is the Wizards. Yours is the Pelicans. Guys, we want to hear from you. Let us know what you think. Who do you like? Where do you think realistically Zion Williamson fits the best? Also, tell us about John Moran, R.J. Barrett, Darius Garland. I mean, there's a lot of great players in this draft class. And just to break it down one more time, the way it works, 3 worst teams get a 14% chance. Knicks, Cavs, and the Suns. The Bulls follow with a 12% chance. The Hawks with a 10% chance. Wizards with a 9% chance. Pelicans, Grizzlies, and Mavs have a 6%. Wolves have a 3%. Lakers have a 2%. And the Miami Heat, the Hornets, and the Kings have a 1% chance. Exactly. So this is going to be very interesting. And one thing that people are forgetting about in the draft, what happens a lot, what's been happening lately? Big time trades. Big time trades can happen, guys. So we never know what happens. So we want to hear your insight. What do you guys think? Also, guys, we want you to give us your feedback. Hit the like button, subscribe, give us some comments. Let us know what you want. This show is meant for you guys. We want to have fun. We want to talk about what we love, but we also want to hear from you. Do you want to talk about modern NBA, 90s stuff? We'll talk about it all. Doesn't matter. But ER Sports is here to give you an entertainment value that you don't have before. A lot of these channels have one person. We want to bring it, give 2 brothers our feedback. We want to hear from you guys. So Before I sign out, brother, do you have anything to add?
My brother, you said a mouthful. All right, guys, we want to thank you for watching our video. We hope to make plenty more. Well, of course, with your help, we're able to do it. So go ahead and hit that like button. It'll really help us out with this channel. Hit that subscribe button as well. And guys, also more encouraging than anything else, hit that comment. All right, we really want to tailor to your needs. You know, we want to talk about different things, like my brother said. We're really, our flagship beginning right now is in terms of the NBA offseason. We already discussed the NBA draft lottery. We're gonna transition to NBA free agency, NBA trades as well, including the NBA draft. So with that said, guys, tune to us the next time. Our next topic should be NBA free agency, as we'll discuss also as well the results of the draft lottery once everything came out.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited.
So there'll be no more speculation, guys. So until then, guys, we appreciate ER Sports out. Wolfpack.
And that's enough said.